Hey there, this is episode 98 of The First 10 Minutes. I'm Tony Parmenter.
I'm Steve Halliwell.
And I'm Aaron Williams.
And this is a video games podcast where we play the first 10 minutes of a video game. Then we sit down here to discuss how well that game communicates itself to the player, both in terms of what the game is about and how to play the game. And in response to our latest listener poll, which you can find at The First 10 Minutes on Twitter, you, the listeners, voted for us to play Yonder, the Cloud Catcher Chronicles. Steve, you played Yonder, the Cloud Catcher Chronicles. Take it away.
I did. All right. Wikipedia tells us that Yonder, the Cloud Catcher Chronicles, is an adventure video game. Developed and published by Prideful Sloth for PlayStation 4 and Windows. It was released on July 18, 2017. Quite a stark contrast to our previous week's Wikipedia definition, I think.
That's correct. Yeah. A mite smaller.
Yeah. All right. Steam has the following to say. I'm going to butcher all of the names because I do not know what dialect or accent is appropriate for them.
Okay. This
So,
is Steam tags with an accent, are you saying, Steve?
Yeah. So Gemea, it's Gemea, or Gemea,
Right.
I don't know.
Oh, you're reading the description.
I am.
I'm sorry. Yep.
Gemea maintains the appearance of a paradise, yet an evil murk has enshrouded the land and its people in despair. As a hero of Yonder, you will explore Gemea and uncover the island's secrets and mysteries within yourself. I feel like there's probably a comma that should be in there somewhere, but it's worked. It is a adventure, open world, exploration, crafting, relaxing, building, casual, single player, cute, sandbox, atmospheric, third person, indie fantasy, agriculture, family friendly, great soundtrack, fishing, RPG multiplayer game.
Agriculture and fishing.
And it's a single player multiplayer game.
yeah, right?
It's a
Yes, I love that. I love this. I love my favorite genre is clearly single, multi, aggro fishing games.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the highly tone setting and evocative nature of the Steam description, contrasted with the the very analytical, descriptive Wikipedia.
Yeah. At least they agreed on adventure.
It's true. It's very true.
I think Wikipedia must have been short on time that day.
Yeah. Okay, so
how does this play out, Steve?
All right, so I hadn't played this game before, really, and I'm playing it on PC with a controller. If you would like to watch the 10 minutes we're about to discuss in more detail, you can find it on YouTube. It should be in the show notes. It should just be like, if you scroll down a little bit, there should be a link there.
Hey, Steve, I've just clicked through to it, and it seems to be on the First 10 Minutes YouTube page, and there's a subscribe button here. Would you like me to click the subscribe button?
Sure.
Nice.
No, it's not the plug section yet.
Do you want to spruik it a little bit more while we're here, Steve?
I mean, if you click that subscribe button, you're going to get notified when one of our, quite frankly, very persistent Let's Plays gets posted.
Correct.
Basically daily at this point.
Yeah.
So if you like listening to our voices more often, then there's a way to do that.
Groovy. Watch Steve's Yonder video, and also keep listening.
Yeah. All right, so I click start, and I get basically some character select. So I have a window here that has a character that is I'm tempted to say torchlighty in nature, and what I mean when I say that is.
They are very, very wooden.
Yeah, they look like they're made of
fire at the top.
Yeah. Just the top, though.
Just the top.
They're quite low poly, and they look like they're lit with white specular highlights and everything. So they kind of look a little bit like they're waxed, and they're also quite low poly and very smooth. The other thing is the texturing is a lot of smooth gradients. There's not a lot of high frequency noise. Which for me I found evocative of what I remembered of Torchlight.
Right.
So this character select has a character there with that, and I have a male-female toggle at the top of this layout. Mm-hmm. I then have a variety of faces looking at me that are changing skin tones.
Right.
And they range from like pales and pinks and olives through to like cappuccinos and dark browns. I also then have hair color that goes from like black, red, some browns, a white, and a blue. And I have 2 sliders. I have a slider for body shape and a slider for body size. And so these are, to be perfectly crude, they're changing 2 morph shapes.
Okay.
So they're changing sort of a distribution of width on hips and torso. So like making more triangle or more pyramid, like inverted or not.
Yep.
And body size is sort of is a vert push. It's pushing those things out from the center.
Yeah.
And I can also choose eye color from brown, red, yellow, green, blue, white, or pink. Select my character, and I hit play. I get
Can you visually describe your character, Steve?
What I settled on? I am a female with the body shape slider approximately 3/4 to the right.
Right.
Which, looking at the screenshot I have in front of me, leads me with... Well, it's hard to tell because the body size is also changing it, but my hips are slightly wider than my shoulders are,
right.
I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I look bottom heavy, but I'm also wearing pantaloons. Like I look piratey. So that's hard to tell.
Yep.
I have brown hair, I have pinkish skin, and I think I went with blue eyes.
You sound like you're ready for adventure.
I am. So I hit play, and I get some text given to me, which is sort of... It's in the tone of a parental figure. So it's saying, we sent you away to keep you safe from the darkness.
Put your shoes on, it's time for school.
Yeah. Where's your lunch?
That's enough. That's enough of your game. You've got school in the morning.
So this text is sort of fading in and out on a black background.
Right.
It says, I'm praising, when the day comes, the celestial compass, in capitals, will guide you. It will lead you across the sea, into the darkness, and into the light. It will always lead you home. Home to Gemea, and Gemea is in green. The rest of this text has been in sort of like a parchmenty, eggshelly color.
Right, okay.
So we're doing the Nintendo thing. I'm sure that there's a better way of explaining that than the Nintendo thing, but the important nouns are colored, so they'll stand out.
Yeah.
And this fades out, and I'm on a ship. I recognize my character, who, now that I'm looking at it, looks like the hair is more red than brown. Anyway. And so the camera it cuts and swoops in on my character, and I'm on a rather festive pirate ship. For lack of a better term, things look cheery and cartoony. So I have
festive in tone, not as in festooned with holly, etc.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So the sails are bundled up and they're sort of blowing.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, they're blowing in the wind, and they're a range of colours.
They're reefed, is what you meant to say, I believe, Steve.
Yep, nautical. So it zooms in and I can tell it's my character because I recognise them from where I made them.
Right.
And they're holding a glowing gem aloft in one hand. I am presuming this is the celestial compass because it looks magic and like it might be proper nouny. This is in a cutscene. This puts this away, and the camera rests in its proper video game place in its third-person perspective. And where the camera comes to rest, I'm sort of just next to the main mast of this ship. I'm looking towards the front of the ship. I can see in the distance there's sort of clouds and fog. The water is very, very pretty, and as the fog fades off towards the horizon, it has sort of a pinkish tinge, and the sky is blue.
Right.
And in front of me, there is another character. There's another character that has less stuff on them. So, like, I have a backpack and possibly like a mattress roll on my back. This person in front of me looks like they are dressed up in a sailor's outfit. Like, they look like they should be in a 1950s musical. They have brown sort of...
Or a 2016 Coen Brothers film.
There you go. So there's another character in frame. So the first thing I do is I run towards this other human to see what's going on. So this means that I already have learnt that I can go up steps automatically because there's a steps up to the front part of the ship that the character just goes up without thinking about it. As I approach this character, a dialogue, sort of the prompt comes on the bottom of press X to talk. I'm playing with a 360 controller if you're wondering. Without thinking about it though, I press A, which I'm going to assume is on purpose because now I have learnt that I can jump and also that, no, seriously, X is how you talk to people. So I talk, I get a dialogue box pop up. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, can I just ask a question really quickly? So do you think that's intentional, X is to talk, and do you think the intent behind that is that jumping will be something that you do more than talking in this game?
That's a good question, and I don't know yet. So,
okay.
Even in the span of my 10 minutes, I didn't find jumping to be key. I certainly talked a lot more than I jumped. But as the game continues, there might become more platforming elements. That certainly could be a thing that happens. I don't know.
Can I posit a suggestion here?
Yep.
So my understanding is that this game does not have combat.
As far as I'm aware, that is. I do not find any, and as I understand it, that is correct. Yeah.
So in my head, pressing the X button on an Xbox controller is usually the attack button.
Yeah, it would be like a mid attack or a light or a heavy if you're thinking about Bayonetta or Ninja something.
Yeah. And in this game, instead of attacking, it talks to someone.
It's talking. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So your
Hit them with your words.
Yep.
Yeah, your aggressive action is, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah.
And they go, "Ah!" And
let's rap.
Yeah. And you go, "Breathing when I left." So this character has a dialogue box pop up and start filling itself in, like a speech bubble. And I learned that this is Jib the Sailor,
nice.
and that, it's really good. That she thought that Gemea was made up.
Right.
And that's all she
made
has to
up
say.
of rocks and soil.
Yes. That's all she has to say. So this is the very front of the ship now. So I assume there must be something else I can do.
Where the jib goes, which is nice. Yep.
And so resisting the temptation to do a little Titanic, I turn around, which means I've had to learn that I can move the camera with the right stick, because I had to do it without thinking about it. But also it would have meant, if I didn't know that, I would have learnt that I can run like camera relative. Like if I'd held back, the character would have turned and run towards the camera.
And does the camera then slowly swing around to be behind the character again? Because if there's camera relative movement, that can get a little wonky.
I did not test that in my 10 minutes.
Okay.
But as I recall, the camera is sort of a little bit lazy. Like it doesn't feel like it's attached via a robot arm to the character.
Yep.
I find another person to talk to. This person is called Luff.
Nice.
And they tell me that the compass is pointing into the fog, eh? That's my précis of what they said.
Okay.
I walk. They're essentially near a door that is closed, leading to what should be like the captain's quarters.
Right.
So to the left of them, there are the stairs that lead up to the wheel of the ship. So I run up those. I was waiting to see if someone was going to give me a nautical term. No.
The spinny bit.
Yeah, the thing that he goes, whee! The thing that hits Popeye in the face.
Yeah. I ran to the back of the ship, and on the right, there was a...
So, after I come up these...
So did you touch the steering wheel?
I didn't. There's a captain in the way.
Fuck you guys.
Oh, damn it.
So I got these steps. This leads me on the left side for where the camera is facing, just towards the back. I know, it's so good, right? So I can see the horizon behind me, and I can see that there's no land behind us. There is only the land ahead of us where we're heading into the fog.
Right.
There's another sailor here, also in their sailor's outfit, who I am going to lovingly describe as a hipster sailor, because they have short red hair with a full beard and hipster glasses on.
Nice.
Their name is Tack.
Also great.
Also pretty good.
Yep.
And they say that the legend is true, talking about Gemea. And they drop a hint. They say, I wonder if we'll see any strange new creatures.
Ooh.
Like, I'm super on board for strange new creatures. The last person I have here to talk to is the person at the wheel, the spinny thing. This is Captain Pullen. And Captain Pullen says, if right, the compass says that Gemea is beyond the fog. At this point, I have
Would you like to spin the wheel?
Everyone. So it now actually brings up a different kind of dialogue prompt, like a do you want to continue style prompt. And it's asking me basically, are you ready to continue to your destination? So this is the if you say no, you can keep walking around the ship and looking at stuff. If you say yes, we're going to move to the next part of the game now.
Okay.
So I hit yes. And our previously quite nice sort of sunrise, I'm not quite sure, scene seems like it becomes overcast. It gets darker. And the camera pulls out of my control, and our ship gets hit by lightning in slow motion. And we
I know.
I know. We fade out, we fade back in. At this point, I now get what I'm going to describe as a giant black bowling pin called Airy. It's Aerie. I apologize again. Who essentially offers me help, asks to see my celestial compass, is very happy that it's real and I have it.
So is this a vision or something, or how's this?
It seems like sort of a mystical, magical realm of the gods kind of thing.
Are you still embodied, or are you
I'm
seeing
still
this
me.
from
I'm still me.
first-person perspective? Or
this is the same camera setup.
Okay.
This is me looking the same as I did before. But
So
with
has
a giant bowling pin in front of me.
Has time frozen?
I'm not sure.
Have you been taken somewhere?
My assumption is that this is part of what happens when I'm unconscious.
Okay.
Because when this sequence ends, I am in a cave, washed up, presumably.
Right.
So in this strange, magical, white glowing area with a giant bowling pin called Airy, I'm assuming that there's some sort of deity. They seem magical. They know about my magic compass. They tell me that they have friends, and if I find all of them, they'll be able to help me. And they tell me how to I press up on the D-pad to use the compass. And when you press up on the D-pad, it pulls the compass out, and a giant magical beam of light points at whatever the next thing you need to do is.
cool.
It's at this point that I also noticed that when you do this, a panel slides in from the left with a exclamation mark in a green text box. And underneath it, there is one solid block here that says guiding light, and it has a pin in it. And so it looks like this is a list of things with only one thing in it right now.
Right.
And so I'll find out later that this is my quest log. So going into my celestial compass is how I change between what my active task is, which changes what the compass will point me to if I want to know where it is, and will also change which icons in the world and on the minimap are visible or hidden.
So which of these objectives is pinned?
Yes, the pin is the active one.
Okay.
Okay, so this fades out once I finish this conversation with Airy, and I'm in a cave. I'm in a cave that looks like it's at the shore. I'm looking out onto the ocean, and what looks like the ship I was on before has crashed and has broken into lots of bits around me. But I don't seem too flustered about it. Again, I have to turn around to walk where I need to go, so they're making sure I know how to use the camera again.
Yep.
I also learned that my character has a lantern, because it's kind of dark in this cave. I mean, it's very It's clearly meant to be gloomy, but it's well lit. But I have a lantern automatically. It's sort of a bluey-green wash on the interior of this cave. And I have to sort of snake down to the left and up and around, so sort of get a sense of the scale of space that I'm going to be walking around.
Right.
And as I'm approaching a tunnel, which I'm hoping will lead me out of this cave, there's something shiny on the ground. Something that has like large white particles coming off of it.
Yep.
And
it's an emitter.
Yes, it's a particle emitter. And so these particles don't look like the rest of the particle systems in the world.
Okay.
There's kind of like water falling through this cave. Not quite waterfalls, but there's water coming between rocks.
Right.
And they look like they're waterfall particle systems. Whereas these look not like they belong in the environment, these ones that are coming off this rock. So as I approach it, the little prompt pops up again, and it says X to pick up. So I press X, and I get a toast. And this toast says, "You discovered stone." And stone has a stone icon next to it, like a cartoon round grey rock with an outline around it.
Okay.
I'm like, cool, take that. It's mine now. I discovered
What are you
this.
assuming? What are you assuming this is for, Steve? Because I know the first thing my brain jumps to.
So I'm going to rub these two things together and then punch someone for sure. So I'm assuming it's not going to be an asset puncher.
I'm going to go find something to hit with this rock.
Yep. I'm assuming
What
this is
would 2001 do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming
Where's a living thing that I can
I can stop.
put this in contact with? Yeah.
So I'm assuming this is a resource of some kind that I need to pick up, and this is two things I assume that I later find are confirmed. One much later than the other.
Right.
The fact that it says discovered stone, I'm assuming doesn't mean that this universe that I'm in doesn't know what stone is.
Yes.
I'm assuming that means like a journal entry has been updated.
Right.
Like an item will have been logged for me that I now know what stone is, and there's probably some information I can go read in a menu somewhere that will tell me more about what I can do with stone.
Yes.
I don't do that yet, but it does tell me to do that later.
Okay.
This is quickly reinforced. The other thing I assume is that this is some sort of collectible that I need a bunch of.
Yeah.
Because not 5 seconds later, there's another shiny, glowy, particly emitty rock. So I walk up to it and I press X, and I don't get a toast. I don't get a game-stopping or interrupting toast at all. Just a little +1, and the stone icon pops at the bottom middle of the screen.
Cool.
So I know that I'm collecting these, and that if I'm getting these one at a time, I probably need a whole bunch of them.
Right. I'm going to make a guess that you might be out of this cave soon, so I'm going to interrupt with a question.
Yep.
How does this cave feel?
Like I said, it's clearly meant to be dark in it, and like the blue and green tones make it seem like I don't have natural light because it's not yellow. It doesn't feel enclosed, doesn't feel claustrophobic.
Right.
The ceiling is, like 4 of my characters high.
Yep.
And 15 of them across.
Okay.
It's
okay. So on the dangerous to mysterious spectrum.
Oh, this is serene.
Okay.
This is not a cave where there's going to be a mountain lion or a bear. This is a cave.
How do you know?
Everything is very soft.
Right.
So there's this soft light that I have from my lantern. I do have a shadow being projected from that lantern, which gets jagged and rapid.
Right.
But everything else in here is soft. There's a calming fog that fades to blue and green tinges. Blue near the water and green near the ceiling. There's slowly running trickles of water coming in through the sides of the cave. It's calmer music. There's not angry like dun 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 dun, or eerie tones. my character seems exceedingly calm about just being confronted by presumably a deity and crashing their ship.
Right.
There's like, yep, let's go. We're here.
Yep. This is what I came for.
Is it Tuesday again already?
Yeah.
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 Nothing here seems like it means me any harm. Everything seems quite inviting.
Right.
The cave also has okay, this is another way of phrasing how this feels. This feels like a cave on a Disney World ride.
Okay.
Or any theme park ride.
Yeah. This doesn't.
I know what you mean.
This doesn't feel like it's a cave. This feels like a room stylized as underwater treasure cave.
Okay.
So if this game had smell-o-vision, you would currently be smelling like chlorinated water, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It feels safe. Like there are walkways for me to walk along.
Okay.
This doesn't feel like a cave in a Tomb Raider game where it's like, oh, how are you going to get up there? Well, clearly these bits that we've highlighted, but there are pathways. Like this
Right.
cave is wheelchair accessible. Right?
Okay.
Like, it feels like it's meant for me to be in. It feels like it's safe for humans or whatever I am.
Yep.
There are also now I'm about to start seeing some lovely sort of fake god rays coming through the ceiling to highlight areas.
Yep.
So this next area I come into, there's wood paneling along one side of the cave. There's a ramp that leads up ahead of me, and there's a ray of light almost dead center of screen when I come around this corner,
Right.
pointing at a little outcropping, like a little plinth for me to go look at. As I approach it, I get a notification drop in from the top. It has a red question mark in it that says, "What's that strange blue glow?" With a question mark at the end of it.
Right.
So I approach what looks like maybe a chair made of stone, and it sort of has like red tassels wrapped around it. Seems like it's some sort of perhaps meant for a place of honor or worship or ceremony. But I approach it nonetheless, unfazed by the possible sacrificial act that I'm committing. I walk up to it, and I did a good thing, because the game takes the camera, like Fallout style, modern Fallout. Sorry, Tony. And points at this character that sort of scales and animates up out of the rock, and they have a dialogue box that says their name is Lumie, Lumie, possibly Lumi. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe Lumi.
Not sure. They spin and they have a glow around them, like a lens flare glow around them, and their dialogue box says "Ooh!" exclamation mark. They're very happy to see me. My assumption is that this character is my equivalent to Navi, is that they're my little helper friend that will help me if I get lost and explain things to me. I also assume this is one of the characters the giant bowling pin was telling me about, and that I will find them and they will help me on my quest. I also, on my ventures out of this cave, discover mushrooms. They have their own little mushroom icon, so there's more materials presumably for me to collect. As I approach the exit to this cave, there is a wall of murk. So this is sort of a purple fog wall. And as I approach it, Lumi pops out and tells me that it's murk and that it's dangerous, but that they can get rid of this one for me. So the assumption being that this takes power or energy, and I will need to find more of them, or possibly recharge them somehow, for them to enable me to continue removing this fog on my journey. Cool. Which I'm presuming, given the story that I've got so far, is my quest. It's like because of the darkness mentioned by the vaguely parental figure story setup, I'm assuming my goal is use Celestial Compass to find magic things to get rid of murk.
Sure.
I come out. I finally get out of this cave after this murk section. The tunnel narrows, and I can see sky on the other side of it, and it's bloomy. So this is blown out as I approach it, and it slowly comes into focus. And the camera takes over, and there's a little bit of a musical swell, and the camera swoops up, and I see I'm entering into a lush pastoral valley that sweeps off into the distance. In front of me, there's sort of a low grasslands area with trees and flowers, and off to one side I can see hills and possibly a volcano, and on another side there is just the trees are all purple, or like purple and pink flowers perhaps, and it's very pretty.
Yeah, sounds very much like the opening of a Zelda title.
Yeah. The amount of green that I'm seeing here is very reminiscent of Zelda's.
And you're mentioning the presence of a volcano as well is sort of a Zelda staple.
Yeah, it's I'm not sure, but there's a cloud formation above it that looks like maybe it's puffing smoke.
Sure. Okay.
I walk out of this area and Lummy, sorry, don't know, says that. Reminds me that up on the D-pad is the compass, and down on the D-pad will open my map. And I set off. I'm in an open area. I walk around it. I find some more things to pick up. I discover sticks. I find a chest that is closed, and I approach it. I press X. It opens, and I discover red shampoo.
Hey, that sounds nice.
It does sound good. It's at this point that I notice that even though I'm sure the game will be happy to let me just run around, it hasn't told me this, no, seriously, go do this, what are you doing? It seems happy to let me do what I'm doing. In the top corner, I have like an active quest log, like what you could be doing right now, like your active quest. And it says, seek help in Fairmont, and has that pin icon next to that sentence.
Right.
The iconography in this game is very, very consistent. So it makes it very easy to tell when two things are linked, but linked in time, not in space.
Yep.
Because that little icon is always repeated. Same goes for things like the stone icon is always the same. It might be a different size, but it's always used whenever the stone is there. So this pin is the same idea. And so I have a checkbox here, like a list of tasks to complete. And there's the head of a pencil icon next to that. And it says, speak with Master Lowe. And Master Lowe is in a different color. I hadn't been paying a lot of attention to the corners of my screen until this point, but then I noticed that there's an active quest I could be doing. There's also in the opposite corner, in the bottom left, there's a mini-map, which has sort of a bit of a trail of where I've been, and it's just the icons of the things within a certain radius of me, and it tells me which way north is.
Can you see
Further,
a pin? Can you see a pin on the mini-map?
I can see icons for there's exclamation marks, and there are question marks on the edges of the small circle that I can see.
Right.
And there's an exclamation mark in green with a circle on it, which I'm assuming from the screenshot I'm looking at right now is where Master Lowe will be.
Right. Okay.
I don't recall, but from the screenshot I'm looking at, I think that's correct.
Okay.
I also discover some flowers that I pick up. And as I'm about halfway across this field, I'm getting to a point where it's sort of like a very wide open T-junction. I can see that there's pathways out of this valley that lead either side, flanked by these cliffs.
Right.
And I see something moving. I see a large, I'm assuming animal, bang center of this field. No trees around it. Nothing.
Yeah.
Just flat land. And a big animal there that I'm clearly meant to notice.
Good thing you got a rock to hit it with.
Yeah, finally. Make a wallet.
Steve, can I make a prediction?
Yeah.
They're moving in herds.
There's only one of them. But
They do move in herds?
I wish. Maybe in the future I'll see more than...
Cue the kazoo.
Yeah, I hope to see more than one of them in the future.
Right.
So as soon as I notice this thing, which is very easy to notice because as soon as I pass these scattered trees, there's nothing above ground level but this thing. And it's animating.
Yep.
So as I start running towards it, I get a pop-up that says, discovered animal. and it says this animal is a groffle. Groffle.
Yep.
Nice.
So the way I would describe what this animal looks like is a giant guinea pig
Yep.
with elk antlers.
Yep.
That sounds amazing.
And I love it, and I want one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's.
Where do I get one?
It looks like it's about twice as tall as me as I approach it. And it seems, as I get close to it, it kind of jumps/waddles away from me. So it's not violent. It doesn't attack me. But it doesn't seem like it really wants to be my friend either. Which
Steve,
makes me
I'm
like
wondering,
That's a challenge for you, Steve.
I'm wondering if there's cooking in this game.
that would be a good thing. I don't know. That would be a good idea.
Can you perhaps make a groffle falafel?
No.
Oh, no.
No, I'll make a tasty stone stew for the groffle, and it will be my friend.
Okay.
That is right. That is the right
Yes.
answer. That's the right approach.
I can't resist a rhyme.
Yes. Maybe the groffle loves waffles. Maybe you have to learn how to make waffles, and you take them to the groffle. I would
The
also...
Groffle prefers stroganoff. Stroganoffle.
Sure. Stroganoffle is what you call stroganoff that's gone very wrong.
That's right. Yeah.
This is stroganoff.
That's the.
It's stroganoff made with
Or-
offal.
No.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. Just stroganoff made from intestinal tracts.
This
And then you
stroganoff
can
is made
turn
from
that into a
groffle.
falafel. So it's a stroganoff
feel like-
falafel.
I feel like that's a dish that Mads Mikkelsen is going to serve in Hannibal season 4.
Yeah.
You know, with
Groffle
I call
waffle.
this beef stroganoffle.
with all of this conversation that we had, this empty conversation that's leading nowhere,
Yeah.
we've now had a stroganoff falafel waffle.
Oh, God.
There we go. And with that,
All right. So,
full circle, folks.
So a groffle, you say?
slightly disheartened by the fact that I can't interact with the groffle directly, I open my compass.
Yep.
And it
Classic.
points me towards it points me towards my goal, and it sort of draws like a multicolored laser beam towards where I need to end up.
Like the witness?
Like Shadow of the Colossus?
You'd feed that a colossal waffle.
A colossal Gruffalo waffle.
Kind of. All right, so I do that.
Can the beef stroganoffle possibly be endorsed by Janine Garofalo?
I mean, maybe.
So you
What does Mark Ruffalo have to say
About the Gruffalo.
about Gruffaloffles?
now you're impinging on somebody else's shtick.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
so
That's true.
you open a compass, Steve.
Yep. Which points the laser at where I'm meant to go, and I go, okay, I'll do that. I will be back for you, Groffle. We will be friends. Whether you like it or not, damn it.
And Gruffle just ruffles.
Yep. And waddles. I'm running up this it slopes upwards towards a village that I can see coming up, and there's a human running around in a field. So I go up and talk to her. Her name is Violet, but she is not Violet at all. She is like blonde. And she tells me that she wants to be a comedian because they can make people laugh with words alone. I'm like, okay, cool. But she has more dialogue, and I see some colored text. I find out that she is working on an epic joke. Epic joke is in blue.
Nice.
I think I like this game. When
Yes.
epic joke is a prop like not necessarily proper noun, but is a word of import, I am quite pleased. So I find Master Lowe. He is a short old man. And I talk to him, and he welcomes me. He tells me that I am welcome in the city. Also, I found it a little odd that it tells me that I have discovered the city as I approach it. It's like you discovered Fairmont. I'm pretty sure the people who live here discovered Fairmont, but all right.
That's right. Yeah. It's just like also you've discovered a thing that already has a name.
I mean, it didn't say you invented Fairmont.
Yes.
That's true.
So this is Fairmont.
You have patented Fairmont.
Yes. You have beaten someone to trademark. The old man welcomes me, and so at this point that I noticed that the characters all have like a Star Fox voice thing happening. It's like when you start talking to them, they make a muttering. So it's not English, it's not Simlish, but they have like an R2-D2 style call out for like, this is the tone of thing that I'm saying. So
Yeah.
So like similar to SteamWorld.
yeah, so like how SteamWorld will be like,
Yeah.
so these ones have, they sound like human noises, they don't sound like robots. But the old man, I don't trust this old man. And I don't trust this old man.
Tell me more.
Because his Star Fox voice is like...
So it's Jeff Goldblum. I like it.
yeah. So some of his... like he talks to
They
me
do
for a
move
little
in
bit.
herds. Yep, I'm with you.
He talks to me for a couple of dialogue slides. And some of them just sound a little bit sinister. I don't know if this is on purpose. I don't know if they're sowing seeds of
Or
doubt.
is it, like, are you just having flashbacks to that pig character from the Star Fox games that just pops up? It's like, the Great Andros.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't trust the old man, though.
It's a
So he
distinct
finishes talk-
Gargamel
Old
vibe.
men are not to
Not to
be
be trusted. Not when they go...
Yeah.
Like, you're a 1950s gangster. I don't trust you. So he finishes talking to me, and I get a fade out and some cards that says, the townspeople welcome you warmly. And it's something that I eat and I sleep. And then I start my next day, I assume. Mm-hmm. So it fades back in, and sort of to give you the quick version of what I do next, there are more people in town that I talk to. One of them is Merrick. He runs the trading post and tells me that I need to get stone from the grasslands and take it to the east dock so that they can finish building something, and then I'll be able to use the trading post.
Cool.
So in his dialogue, there's so many pieces of color text. So stone, east dock,
Yep.
and he also gives me a mallet. He's just like, here's a mallet, you'll need this, which is colored and has its own icon.
Right.
The mallet is for me to break down boulders into stone.
Cool. So you can pick them up more than one at a time with a little bit of effort. Right.
Yep.
And are all these different coloured words, like, are they different colours? Or are they all just the same? They're all different colours.
They're different colours. In my time, I don't have a sense if they are colour-coded.
Right.
Like the epic joke was in sort of a dark blue. So I don't know if all things that are like the epic joke will be dark blue.
Right.
Stone is sort of a baby blue.
Yep.
I think Merrick... No, I don't remember. I'm trying to think if Merrick was a purple. I don't remember now.
Okay.
But Master Lowe was a yellow. Maybe that's why I don't trust him. I don't know.
Maybe.
Didn't have blue text. So I find a larger boulder. As I approach it, it tells me that I can press X to mallet it. I think it was X. And I hit it 3 times. As I hit it each time, it changes texture and cracks, and I get a puff of particles from it. On the 3rd hit, it sort of shatters into smaller bits of stone that have glowies around them, and they sort of auto-vacuum into my character, and I now have 4 more bits of stone.
Yep.
The next things that I learn is there are some more characters that I talk to that similarly have more things that they want me to do.
Right.
So one of them wants me to get bundles of sticks and a vine. So I need sticks and a vine to craft those into a bundle of sticks. And this is the other big thing that I get in my 10 minutes, is my inventory. So I also had unlocked some new costumes, and Y, the Y button on the controller is actually how I can open my inventory. And so in my inventory, I have my backpack, which has all of my resources in it, which tells me how much their base value is and their local value is. Mm-hmm. So trading is going to be part of what I do in this game, presumably. And it has a short description of it, as well as it reusing the icon that I've already seen in 3 other places in the inventory and in the description of it. I have a tab for person, which is where I can change my clothes. So I've picked up red shampoo, I find that this could change the color of my hair if I used it. And I get a different tunic that I can wear. And I also have a quest log in here. It looks like I also have my journal in here. And I craft in here. All right, so some other things in my 10 minutes is the font this game uses. I love it. I love this font. This is my favorite font. This font, I think, is part of the reason why everything seems so calm.
Okay. So it's Joker
Right.
Man.
Yeah, totally.
It's papyrus.
Yep. That's how you know it's classy. So this I don't know what the typeface is, but it is wide. It is rounded. It almost looks like someone has made a font out of like balloon animals.
Okay.
Right? Like the characters
Nice.
the characters look like someone has put just a little bit too much air in them.
Yep.
Yep.
And they all of their text, to be reductive, is probably Text Mesh Pro.
Right.
But it all has a colored outline around it
Yeah.
that makes the text stand out from whatever it's on, and that outline color appears to be changing based upon what the foreground color is.
Okay.
Yep.
The text just always looks wonderful. All the UI looks really, really good.
How's the kerning, Steve?
So this is part of the other reason why I find this font so cozy. Is there is very little space between characters, but they are wide characters. They are wide, soft, relaxed characters.
That don't
just
mind smushing up to each other.
No, they're just nuzzling up together in a blanket.
Right.
So that is great. I love the font. The font is awesome. The font puts me at ease, tells me everything is okay, and that I can be calm here, and that I'm welcome here. And the other thing that I wanted to pull out of what I experienced in my 10 minutes here that maybe we can talk about for a bit, or maybe you'll have some thoughts on, is I can't put my finger on it, but playing this game feels like I'm playing a Japanese PS2 game, and I don't know why.
Okay. Well, let me draw on my extensive experience of having played none of those.
Go, Tony. Yeah, I love it. Go.
Because I never owned a PS2, so...
Yeah.
Can I throw some titles at you, Steve, and let's gauge what you mean when you say Japanese PS2 games?
Yeah, sure.
Eco.
Kind of.
Onimusha.
Not so much, I think.
Okay. Forbidden Siren.
I don't know that one. I think the... Go on.
Yeah, we could do this for a little while.
Yeah. So I think the thing that was making me think about it, now that I'm looking at more of these screenshots, is the kind of things that it wants to tell me in the UI. So it's certainly not to the degree that something like Everybody's Golf is, where Everybody's Golf is like all of the UI. If it could UI it, it's going to UI it.
Yeah.
But in the sense that this game isn't afraid to just go, no, you just need these parts of the screen to have some sensors on them that are all still in that lovely font. But they're all color-coded and they've got icons spread throughout them, intermingled with the text. So like the pin icon, like the compass icon, like stone icons, those are all spread throughout the text itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one other thing that I don't know what does, that maybe we can talk around as well. Is underneath my mini map in the screenshot that I have here, I have 16:01 that is above the word spring, and then over to the right of these it says day 1, year 1.
Yep.
What?
Yes. So it appears to be telling me the current time, the current season, and that this is day 1 of year 1 in Gemea.
Well, I mean, the Chronicles is in the title, right?
It is.
So maybe this is just the beginning of your chronicling.
It's a good point. The other thought I had is that maybe there will be points where it'll jump me ahead in time, and that's a way of it letting me know how far it's moved me.
Yeah, totally.
Or the only other thing I can think of that this sort of hints at is that there might be farming later that I haven't got to yet. It's like, well, you need to remember to plant these things in the autumn.
Well, I mean, at this stage, you haven't had enough time to get a handle on time compression and how it's being abstracted.
Yep.
So,
and in truth, it could be all of the above.
Yeah.
Yep. I just found it odd that it's on screen seemingly at all times, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, seeing as we're on the general topic of time compression, one of the things that I wanted to ask you about, Steve, is compression of space and of environment. And I hesitate to use the word biomes, but I'm going to because it's convenient.
Sure.
You've been on a fair journey here. You've been through a number of different locales, and it feels like there's been there's been peaks and troughs, constricted areas and reveals and vistas and cozy areas and open areas. There's a lot of variety that I've gotten from your description in space in a very short amount of time. So if we're trying to wrangle with, well, how might time compression work if we've got day one, year one, and seasons and all this stuff, how far do you feel like you've travelled in this world?
So in terms of me as like how far have I, the player, feel like I've travelled? I feel like I've done a hell of a lot in 10 minutes.
Yep.
I have sailed to a foreign land. I have met a deity. I have escaped a cave.
You've kind of ticked some pretty big boxes there. Like, forget the cave part.
Yeah, like there are gods. Yeah. Also, I got out of a cave.
Yeah. Also, like it's possible that intelligent design exists.
Yeah, and then I went spelunking for a bit.
To use a comparison to a little known game that hopefully some people have heard of, World of Warcraft. If you've played any amount of it, if you've played any amount of it pre, I think it was Cataclysm, when the Barrens was all one big zone, that place felt enormous, but it actually isn't.
Yeah.
And like the entirety of the two continents at the launch of World of Warcraft felt gigantic, but it wasn't. So does this? Do you have any sense of like? Does the horizon look really far away? Does it look close? How big are these zones, and so on?
So there's a couple of things I think to mention when talking about that. For one, it seems like they have. It looks like they have a sort of screen space distortion on the camera. So as things approach the edge of your camera, they stretch more or less.
Right,
so
okay.
like a kind of like a subtle fisheye effect.
Yeah.
Which when then you swing the camera around gives the effect that things in the distance are further away than they are.
Right.
If that makes sense. It also looks like there might be some like depth card style proxies being used. It's very hard to tell. I didn't run towards them for long enough. But it does look like
billboard lotting, you mean?
Potentially, but it also just that it looks like things that are far away are very far away. So there's a lot of post effects happening. So there's bloom as well, but there's a distance haze.
Yep.
That again doesn't. It feels light and happy and comfortable, but it feels like things that are far away must be very far away because I can see that there's a yellow haze across them.
Yeah.
So I think that's going a long way into making those couple of little things are making things seem further away than they might actually be. In terms of how far do I think my character actually moved, the grassland I ran across, I'm guessing is probably about 100 units, like 100 meters.
Yeah.
But the way that this grassland I think feels open to me is once I got out from this area that had trees in it is that it's sort of a bowl, sort of a subtly shaped bowl that I'm in, and there are they're not quite cliffs, but there are rocky outcroppings that are probably like 4 meters tall. That skirt
so you're often looking up to see the horizon line. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And where I found the groffle, there's not really any other markers in this bowl shape other than the groffle in the middle of it. So when I approached it, it seems like this is a massive field because there's no other medium detail objects around.
And then you get close enough to it to see how big it is relative to you, and that further cements the scale. Yep. Yeah. Okay.
Because then when I get next to it, it's twice as big as I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, do you have a sense of how far away the eastern dock?
East dock,
is going
I believe
to be?
It was.
Yeah. Because that sounds like a run across the island and maybe allow you to gauge distance.
So, I can tell you because I played a little bit beyond my 10 minutes and found out where that was.
Right.
From the 10 minutes itself, I don't think I had a sense of how far away that would be. But it's about the same distance, I think, that I had ran from the entrance of the cave to the groffle, is from where Merrick told me to go to East Dock to where the East Dock is. So if you just book it, it's probably only a minute, maybe less, if you just want to go, I want to go straight there.
Right.
It's in the distance, but you can kind of see it from where you are. This little town is on the side of one of these elevated areas, and the East Dock is sort of down that slope, but to the east, presumably, rather than to the southeast. I'm assuming where the cave was.
You know, I just want to point out that in the film Jurassic Park, Dennis Nedry was heading to the East Dock.
That's a good point.
That's correct.
I'm starting to connect some dots here.
Yeah, I should watch out for spinners.
Yes.
Yeah.
I should point out that most of these dots have actually been placed by you.
Yeah. What are you implying?
Nothing at all. Hey Steve, I got a question.
Yeah.
Do you think this game wants you to stray from the path?
I absolutely think that. Can I
further clarify that question? Do you think there is a path?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well,
ooh, I like that.
So that's a tricky one, because part of me wants to say, well, there must be a path because it's a game about having a magic compass. And
a compass doesn't imply a path. A compass is something you use when there is no path, Steve.
Yeah. The magic orienteering set. So the reason why I say I think there is a path is because it has set me up, at least early now. I believe I had 3 different things in my to-do list from different people.
Right.
And the setup that I'm getting is you talk to a person, they give you a task, which is like a collection or crafting task at this point, but I assume those will get more elaborate.
Right.
And most of those tasks right now are, and then take it to this place you haven't been yet, or this other character you haven't met yet, who will then give you another one. So I get a sense that there's a daisy chain of things for me to do. Whether or not there is like a critical path of story, I don't necessarily feel that there is a critical path of how do you get to the end boss the fastest. Like, I don't get a sense that there's one of those. But I certainly feel like there are discrete things the game wants me to do. I think the thing that I'm getting from it at this point, though, is I'm not sure if that's what this game will continue to be, or if this is just the breadcrumbs to get me used to the systems the game has.
Yeah.
Because I could very easily see that once it's taught me how crafting things craft into each other and exposed me to all the areas of the island, that it would go, and now, I don't know, save the world, or figure out how to ride a groffle. I don't know.
Yep.
To
go.
just quickly reflect this on another title similar to it, the most recent Legend of Zelda game is kind of like this. in that you start out on a plateaued area where you are very much locked to a window of exploration. You're given a set of tasks to achieve that kind of have you discovering how landscapes work around here, but it's very much, it's kind of regimented and like, go here, do this, then go here, do that, go here, do this. And then once you get past that point, that's when it's like, all right, and here's Hyrule. Have at thee.
Yeah.
So it sounds like maybe there's something similar at play here, sort of like introducing you to the various ways in which quests may behave in this game, but also how exploration is going to work, how discovery will function, and that at a certain point the game will trust in you to find shit on your own.
Yeah.
Steve, I wanted to ask something that's kind of related to what we're already talking about. How many quests do you currently have active?
So I only ever have one active.
Sorry, I meant how many quests have been given to you that remain unresolved is what I meant.
I believe it was 3. I had 3 in my log.
Okay. And are you able to spot quest givers before you talk to them? Are you seeing them identified in the world, like with an icon or something? Or
I'm unclear on the specifics of that yet, because Master Lowe had the icon that I see in my compass. The icon at the top of that task list is an exclamation mark in a speech bubble.
Right.
Which I'm assuming is the I am a task icon. Mm-hmm. Because Master Lowe had one of those above his head when I approached him.
Yep.
But Violet, who wants to write the epic joke, didn't have, as I recall, didn't have a, like, I can give you a quest.
Right.
And to be fair, she didn't give me a quest, but she gave me a blue word epic joke, which is certainly a Steve quest, even if it's not actually in my to-do list in the video game.
Right, right.
So I'm not sure yet. The main reason why I'm unsure is because Master Lowe was a quest, and after you finish talking to them, go meet the other people in the town also makes them quests that you need to do.
Yep, yep. It's like, clearly quests can be a very effective way of steering or guiding or nudging the player to move through different areas of the world or to seed the character to go to a new location. And then, more areas can branch out from there or storyline can continue developing. But I'm trying to get I'm wondering if you've got a sense yet as to how overloaded you might get with quests. To name drop another older video game, Baldur's Gate 2 was impossible to return to if you'd been away from it for more than a few days because there were so many things active and potentially going on that you just start playing it again. You'd open up your journal and you'd go, oh fuck this. I don't remember what any of this is.
Yeah.
So what load of complexity or how many different things are you having to think about at the same time in terms of your objectives?
I'm really not sure yet.
Yeah.
My hope is that given the vibe this game is giving me, is that even if I ended up with a lot of things I could do, that doesn't seem like it's going to present those as these are all imperative. What are you doing? Do them all now. Go, go, go. In the way that something like an Assassin's Creed or a Far Cry or Middle-earth Shadow of War does.
Yeah.
It's like these are all part of the world-ending catastrophe and you need to do all of them immediately.
But not
the
really.
Things that it's calling out as quests are things that people have asked me to do for them. Whereas I think the bit where, for me at least, I get overloaded and don't know what I should be caring about anymore in things like Far Cry or Assassin's Creed is when there's a mess of icons that are all the same size and the same color, and it's just, we'll get rid of all these icons. Right? I don't get that sense here. Like, there are things on my mini-map, but the way that I find my quests doesn't use that mini-map. it uses my magic compass, and the magic compass only has 3 things I need to do in it. So maybe that will continue. That will continue as a hierarchy of like, these are your these are your people-oriented tasks.
Right.
Versus like, there's a question mark on the minimap. Could be anything. Go figure it out. That's the sense I get right now, but I don't know that for sure. I don't know what that would mean going forward. If it is going to go, you get it now, off you go.
Mm-hmm. Groovy. That was all my notes.
Okay.
I kind of asked all my other questions along the way. So
yeah. Anything else from you, Aaron?
I've got a song if you want it.
Oh yeah, I definitely do.
Yeah. Bruce got in touch. He likes the sound of the word yonder.
Yeah.
Is what I got from him this week. He thinks it's a nice sounding word, and so he constructed a track that sort of evokes the spirit of Yonder more than provides contextual relevance for what one will do in Yonder. But yeah, as always, Springsteen really likes me to let you know that the author is definitely not dead, and that the author's statement is imperative to understanding what's about to follow.
And absolute. Yeah.
But without further ado. Well, in yonder, I do wander, though I wonder where to go. Then I ponder, find me fonder, for the yonder I now know.
Very nice. I can't wait for the third verse, which is about groffle waffles.
Yes.
So with the song done and dusted, Steve, I think it might be time for a 10-minute check.
Yep. Okay, so does the game teach me how to play? One thing I really enjoyed about this game, in terms of it teaching me how to do things, is I don't recall it ever saying you move left stick to move.
Yep.
Like it presented me, that initial ship seems constructed so that you will press the buttons, you will touch the sticks. There's nothing you can do wrong there. It's giving you a place to figure out how it feels. And I really appreciate that trust and that, like, you got this, you'll press buttons, it'll be okay. And the little nudges that I think are there of like configuring where I start and what I'm looking at to make sure that I'm going to encounter those things, I really appreciate it. In terms of the mechanical driving of the game, I know I'm picking up a lot of things. I'm getting a sense that I'm going to collect and craft items together. And so I've got that. In terms of what I'm doing, as beyond the collecting and crafting, I don't mean to sound dismissive when I say it this way, but this seems to be talk to someone, find out what their problem is, and solve it for them. It's like, I know sometimes people sort of say that in a negative light of like, I'm just going around solving all the townspeople's problems. But it seems to be the loop it's setting up for me right now, at least, is there's a thing that needs to be done. Here is how you can do it. But I have been set up as the world saver. Like I have been given the magical thing, and the magical bowling pin shows me.
I think simplicity is not synonymous with lesser, right?
No.
Or less than. It's about presentation, and it's about commitment, right?
The thing that the thing that I think people tend to be dismissive of when they say, "Oh, this game is just full of," like if you're describing the quest that you might get in a Skyrim village of like, "Oh no, they stole my watch, find it," and you find it, and they say, "Thanks for finding my watch," isn't that you dislike it because you had to find someone's watch, because you don't feel that was a rich thing for you to do.
Sure.
Whereas the things that I'm doing here don't feel devoid of meaning.
Right. Yeah. Like an epic joke. Like you're going to help them. You're going to help them. Find the magic of humor.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Somebody in Skyrim wearing a watch?
I don't know.
Yeah. I lost my wristwatch.
Like
It's Russell Crowe. It's a guest star from Russell Crowe.
It's something that an extra would forget to take off while they're in the back of a scene in Skyrim.
That's it. They're like, oh shit, I'm wearing a watch. You've got to help me out.
Get me
just
out
cut
of
their
here.
hand off.
Yeah.
And they're like, cheers, thanks. There's no more
That's
watch.
actually really better. Yeah.
I used to be an extra. But I used to be an extra, but then I wore a watch on my wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was the bit that I took away from. It doesn't. I don't mean to be dismissive when I think the setup is talk to people and help them solve the problems that they have.
Yep.
It's because those all feel like they're important. They feel rich. They feel like they're lovingly made. Whereas I think some people don't like those when they don't feel like they're core to the experience in some way.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my 10-minute check. I think it's good. I liked it. I think it did a good job.
Review, huh?
Not a review.
Yeah.
Not a review, but yeah,
It's
cool. This sounds like a cool thing.
It's also like really pretty, so that's also going for it.
Yep.
Could we try something unusual here, Steve?
Okay.
Can we review it?
Can we close
7 out of 10.
out with? Can we close out with the plugs?
We could close out with the plugs. It'd be very different.
Nice. Let's do it.
Welcome to the plugs.
Thanks.
Herein, you will find ways of contacting us. For example, email, classic. Contact at thefirst10minutes.com is what you would email
Classic
to.
communication.
Yep.
Yeah. Classic asynchronous.
Yep.
If you'd like to use a more contemporary but still very asynchronous method of communication, you can find us on social media. That would be Twitter, SoundCloud, Libsyn, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram. I said Facebook, didn't I? I think I did. In all those places, you will find us as The First 10 Minutes. And we'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you thought about this, or if there's things you'd like us to do in the future, or talk about, or shit we got wrong, all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely.
And following on from that, Tony, you exist on the internet. What if someone wants to talk to
on the
you
internet.
rather than us?
If somebody would like to get in touch with me personally, you can contact me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @Kalinskald. That's KALINSKALD. I also do another podcast where I interview game developers, and that is called Downloadable Context, which you can find at downloadablecontext.com. Hey, Steve. What about you if somebody wants to get in touch with you on the internet?
Okay. So Twitter is an option. That would be @_Steve Halliwell. The other option to find all the other things about me and what I'm up to is my website, which is just stevehalliwell.com. Or if you prefer, codewithmeifyouwanttolive.com.
Nice. Hey, Aaron.
Aaron.
I want to get in touch with Aaron.
Okay.
How does Aaron talk to an Aaron?
Yep.
Well, Aaron, it's very simple. You can find me on Twitter. I am @rundownflamingo. That is spelled how it sounds. Aaron, yes, Aaron. If you would like to also get in touch with Aaron in another context, in another setting, Aaron produces essays on narrative design in the video games. It's called Pushing Buttons, Aaron, and you do well to check it out. I think you'd like it, Aaron, and I should know because I am you. So if you want to find out about them narrative design essays, Aaron, you can head over to www.pushingb.com, or Aaron, if you're on Twitter, which I know you are, even though you say you're not, you can find yourself on Twitter @pushingb.
Aaron, may I ask a question? Were you speaking in fourth person?
It's hard to say. I've only just regained consciousness.
I think the answer you're looking for is one of us was.
Very good.
Yeah, there we go. And on that note,
yes, thank you all very much for listening, and we will catch you again next time.
Bye.
See ya.